So I want to come up with a topic while I'm doing all this stuff. I had a pretty precedented episode last time, or yesterday, I guess, and it would have a lot to do with my my comfortability with the fact that of me being a victim and also victimizing someone else. Being able to understand that that's behind me and realize that I can make a better future for myself. Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good to say it out loud in front of whoever will listen, or whoever won't listen, I guess. I don't know. I got in the pool today. I was able to do some stuff. I'm going to do some stuff tomorrow, I think. I'm going to start up my bigger exercises. I'm going to do 150 squats in 3 sets. I'm going to do 100 push-ups maybe in about 5 sets or 4 sets. Something like that. So, or maybe I'll just do burnout because I don't know sometimes if I can actually do 100 in a given day. I know that I need to like be able to support my weight and everything like that. That I'm now 330 pounds or 330 pounds, given any given day's work and stuff like that. I do have a lot more exhaustion, I guess, when it comes down to it. But I also know that me doing this will also start me to lose weight or gain muscle mass, depending upon what actually thing I go for. I know that those are just kind of framing exercises sometimes, and I noticed that push-ups and sit-ups and crunches and stuff like that are needed. But the squats are just for my legs. Okay, we're gonna go down now. Official maps. The big ramp, downtown Los Angeles, California skate park. Let's do it. Realize a lot of times that I'm kind of I'm past all that blaming shit and victimizing people and shit like that. Not just of my younger years, but just of anything really. I think I put off the wrong kind of impression, I guess. And I was always looking for someone like to defend myself against, and that's kind of in a certain way like, whoa, oh shit. It's kind of in a certain way kind of like waiting to be victimized, you know? Like, I don't want to do that. And then but I realized that that's what I was doing, and that's the reason why I wanted to like I kind of forgive a lot of stuff that my ex-girlfriends did, I guess, to kind of get away from me, I guess. I don't know what it was, but the point was, I think that people weren't really looking at it like in a certain way sometimes, and I need to look at it in a better light, and not just in like oh my god, they're totally kind of like being paid to do this shit, or like are they being compensated in some ways to be able to like give the dudes, and I kind of like. And that strikes a nerve because it makes me believe their emotions are always going to be something of an accepting nature, as long as they're being compensated for hanging out with me. You know, gotta find some friends that are going to compensate me as well. You know, in some ways, or at least like up to the same kind of like thing. And I didn't get that a lot back in my younger years. I got a lot of people who were assholes to me, and so I just expected that a lot, and I'm kind of have to get into a mode where I'm not actually looking for assholes to go and beat the shit out of with my mind. I should look for like people to kind of support my views, I guess, or support the things that are in my life and stuff. And not to say that I should get rid of my friends or anything like that, but just say I should find new ones too. So it's gonna be a little hard, but that's the point. Is bonding with someone is hard, and finding a common light or commonality is very hard sometimes. I don't know why people. That's the point. Is like it always goes back to sometimes of showing people who you really are. Like when you could be in danger of someone literally trying to murder you. Like it's just not. I know that there are people out there that are shitty, and I know that there are people out there that are into the occult, and they believe that certain things are just like because of the devil you're with or some shit like that. It's just like it's very insensitive, but it's also extremely dangerous to be around people who have those not sorts of opinions, but those closeted cases of people who don't tell people what they're about, and then they just plan on hurting people later. Those are the kind of people that turn into like serial killers and shit. And if you don't say things aloud or like realize how stupid some of it is, like yeah, it's really hard to like I don't know, like maybe like conformity kind of feels like that, like you wanna, I don't know, I just don't feel conformed in any way. I don't feel like I'm conforming to anything when I tell a girl that I like her, or when I tell someone that I like them, or someone that I think they're really cute, or someone that I think that I would like to go on a date with them. And really, I only say that unless if they're interested, and if they're interested, then that's fine with me. But the point is that I don't like when people say that they're interested in me and then go back on every single part of their words. And I find that a lot sometimes in New Orleans, and it never sits well. Like people are kind of transient sometimes. They try to find who they're looking for, but they judge everyone else around them constantly to find those things. And that's the point, is like, should you really make those judgments on people who are just joking around? Like if someone says the word gay, not meaning gay, but like dumb, they should understand too that the word gay didn't mean actually homosexual or in any way sexuality before like the 1970s or 60s. So like it meant happy. That's all it meant. So like understand, like they're words. That's all, just that they're just words, and you should get offended by people being stupid and saying stupid shit because they it's the point is like, even if you are like trans or any of that stuff, the more you allow things to trigger you, like I'm not saying to trigger words, and they are trigger words, but the more thing you allow things to trigger you, the more you realize that, like, I mean, you're kind of not sociable. Like, you have to realize that people have like regulatory forms of dark humor and abusive language. Everyone does. Everyone thinks that someone is either out to get them or out to change what they believe just because of certain things. Even people who are progressive have like threatening fucking thoughts sometimes. And like, that's the point, is you have to realize that that's in human nature. Like, it's like that's the reality, and that's where dark humor actually comes from, and you realize what dark humor actually is and the reasons why it's actually in some ways supportive, because you're acknowledging the fact that those things happen, and so in some ways you should feel okay with either it being resolved or the thing actually being in the process of being resolved. And usually with any government, you're probably gonna see that kind of come to fruition, I guess. In New Orleans, it's really kind of like gotten a little bit better, but also in the same sense, there are still dudes that are fighting out there over drug stuff and territory in some ways. And in the cases, sometimes that's happening a lot everywhere. Like even with random teenage kids and stuff like that, they're more territorial than most like high drug dealers. So, and the reason why I know this is because my dad used to regularly interact with people who did the bad things sometimes, and also me as well sometimes. But the point is that over time I realized that certain people do certain things to be able to feel comfortable or to be able to feel like they're safe. And I don't know, like when a person or a progressive person says like, oh, he doesn't know my pronouns, or he doesn't know my cisgender or whatever gender at all, I'm not going to learn those things, because those are going to dissolve with time. People are going to understand that those things are going to trigger people, and those people who are triggered are going to be eventually kind of like away from society. You're gonna be like, they're on the fringes and shit, and they're on the oh, we're gonna blow up this building because this motherfucker didn't like every single person who's gay. It's like you can't unite a group of people who are sexuality. You can't unite them. You can't. It's impossible. Like, be with your friends, be with who accepts you. I was like, yes, but sometimes even people don't want to be around each other. Like, you have to understand how antisocial we all are, really. Like, even though we're social beings, people say they don't have pain. How's it going, Vera? I'm talking about mental health and how it pertains to certain people's either sexualities or sexual identity. And I'm also, or even not just sexual identity, but also like sharing of that sexual identity, and with people who wouldn't normally like accept them anyways. It's like going up to like a bully or something like that. It's saying, you can't be a bully anymore because I'm blah 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 blah, and then you're like, no, I'm still gonna be a bully, and they punch you in the face and take your money. This is like, no, like you can't change someone's mind just with like the changing of, you think the changing of times happens because you have an echo chamber now. Like, you have someone telling you that you're good, and that means you're good, but but like, but the point is like the people who are shitty are still gonna be shitty, you know? Like the people who are assholes and yell in fucking restaurants about how COVID is some sort of fucking made up virus is just gonna be that way, because they're gonna do that because they're stupid. And instead of like getting in the argument with them and telling them or trying to actively change their mind, just smiling and walking away is a lot easier. saying like, oh wow, and then like slowly being sarcastic behind them. it's a lot easier to deal with. It is, because understanding that everyone can be wrong at some point, or realizing that everyone can be wrong at some point, you're gonna realize that you're gonna be less offended by anything anyone has to say, because you feel confident in yourself and you understand and believe yourself. Like there are a lot of girls that I see on TikTok a lot of times trying to find someone, I guess. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna find anybody. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna find a date on Instagram. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna find the love of your life on Instagram. No matter how many times I gawk over certain cosplayers and models and other sexy women that do amazing things, but that's the point. Is I can say that I'm gawking over them because I know I'm gawking over them. I know I'm creating this little world in my head where I actually would meet them, or creating this little fantasy where I would meet them and they'd be like, oh, you're Joe. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, I am. That's cool. I love you. And I'd be like, yeah. And then we all run off together. And then, like, I don't know what else they would do, but, like, that's the point. Is it's like actively not a part of my actual real life, so I can't really give it some sort of fantasy. So like I see women like are in the grocery store and stuff like that, and or they got a club or something like that. I'm like, wow, that chick looks really, really cute. I really would like to get with her. And then I go up to her and say hi, introduce myself, and then I realize that she has a boyfriend, or she's like with a dude or some shit like that. Or at the end of the night, she's with a dude, and then I'm just like, fuck, oh my god. She's just waiting on this whole thing. He's just wanted somebody to hang out with, basically. And it would have been fine because I was getting free drinks that night. That was great. Awesome. You okay for my drinks? Great. Good. But I mean, tell me about the dude that's waiting in the back scenes, who's like watching you and is also wants like you're texting like at any given random moment. Like, just be honest about it. I mean, to me, you don't have to be honest about it to everyone. But I mean, I'm sure they're gonna get on your case, but I'm not. Like, I really don't care a lot of times. There are a lot of different situations that don't constitute a problem with me. Like, there are women that really got their rent paid because they were going out with some dude, and that doesn't hit a nerve with me, because there are a lot of women out there that are very much struggling. But there are also women out there that don't give a shit about their own job. They don't want a regular job, and that's the point. Is like, if you don't want a regular job, create OnlyFans. Do an OnlyFans account. Do it. No matter what, if they criticize you or whatever, they're still going to pay you money to watch your content all the time. And that's the point. Is like, I think people have regularized what they thought was prostitution, or they think is prostitution, and then they compare that to sex workers or people who sell the idea of what they think sexual contact might be, if in a given situation that man would not put his hands on her. So that's the point. Is like, it's sexual, but it's not as sexual as you think it is, and it's not like, it doesn't give you the right to like go after her. Like, that's the reason why I constantly block strippers and burlesque dancers, because even if I talk to them, even if I know them personally, I'll still block the shit out of them just to keep them out of my goddamn mind. To give them their space, like, to understand that, like, yes, like I mean, I think Meg Turney said it really good, and that's the reason why I think I kind of respect her now a little bit. There's a disconnect, I guess, every single time when someone is showing you pictures of their butt or their bikini or them in a cosplay or a cool super cosplay they look really sexy in or something like that. And no matter if they look sexy or not, they're still gonna think they look sexy, and they have confidence to be able to say that they look sexy, and they're doing different things. It's like, that's what I didn't get about some chicks that would just, I don't get it. It's like, people go in seasons. People definitely go in seasons. Like, they're, I don't care. People definitely go in seasons, so it's like, it's hard to, like, I don't know. It's just, people's like differentiate, and when they differentiate, sometimes they don't realize they're differentiating. Like, oh my god, they're like, for your adolescence, you're probably attracted to like dudes who are your age, or chicks who are your age, or maybe you found that you were attracted to this also. That's the point. Is like, a lot of times people who are kids don't realize they have mental disabilities or mental challenges to be able to get through to another side of what they think is an attraction, but what they view as admiration. And a lot of girls, I think, that are in New Orleans, they have a lot of girls that are kind of butch, I guess, but don't realize that they're really kind of like they themselves are exhuming that masculine nature because they love masculineness that much. And that's the point, is like, if you just kind of gave yourself a little bit more of leeway between what you're actually attracted to, or even understood the trauma that happened to you, the reason why you're attracted to that is because you're secretly attracted to dudes, or you're secretly attracted to both things, or you're secretly attracted to a whole bunch of different stuff. And really, I think the point is that people who put a label on everything that they are, that's the problem sometimes. Is like, it's the problem in people's lives, it's the problem in people's like offensiveness nature and stuff. I realize that the more they put labels on everything, the more they get completely offended or have some sort of reason to take up flags at people and stuff like that. And that's where I don't get the flags thing. But like, if you're just a person, like you're just an individual, like, take the individual first, and then realize that eventually you'll find someone or something that defines you. You'll find that friendship that you love so much you would rather be around that person. But you're not going to find that constantly telling everyone what you are all the time. You're not even going to find the same person that's comfortable, because the way you learned how to be able to express your sexuality or your gender or anything like that was yelling it in a crowd of people on Twitter and shit like that, or saying that I'm offended at what you said and blah 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 blah. The point is it doesn't matter. Those people change their minds over time sometimes. What you have to understand is you're not going to change their minds overnight. You're not going to change anyone's mind overnight. No matter if they believe in terrible things or anything like that, or if they believe that somehow everything is a conspiracy theory, and like understand that some of the stuff is even supported by fact is considered conspiracy theory. There's a conspiracy theory about the fact that no human is actually controlling our weather. It's actually huge monsters that live out in the the uncharted parts of our oceans. They stir up those currents, and all they ever do is just pass by. They stir up those currents, and that's what they do. They're huge, minimalistic, moving monsters, and that has more validity than most actual factual information about the world, because we have more facts on it. So we understand the actual ocean, you understand the actual land a lot better than we do the oceans. So it's like that. It's like, and also understand this. Okay, think about it like this. All right, you're an alien. Okay. You're trying to hide from another group of aliens, okay? Okay, so realizing that you're hiding from these other aliens who are trying to kill you, okay? Because they don't like the way you live, or they don't like the things you do, or some shit like that. Why would you constantly put on a shirt saying or stating what you are, or understanding? Why wouldn't you just blend in? Just blend in with everyone. Blend in, that's it. You don't have to look like a dude. You don't have to look like a chick. You can put a red dress on every single year it comes over. The year red dress comes off, and you can just put in regular clothes. You listen to rock music. You listen to any music, because those rock stars were literally the people who kind of made this counterculture anyways. As the fact that like you can be whatever you want to be. You don't have to describe or define yourself based on the people around you, because you'll always be brokenhearted when it gets torn apart. But the point is that, because that's the point, is it always gets torn apart. Sometimes good things end. It's everything ends. Everything always ends. Like, and it's like, oh, we have to have a certain form of respect when it comes to politics. But yeah, you can have whatever you want, sort of politics. You can put a little flag on your suit when you're deciding to address the nation, and you may be a cis, or maybe you consider yourself trans or anything like that. But I mean, you don't have to do crazy shit like make a huge banner. That was obviously for someone to sell a product. The point is you don't want to become an instrument for sponsorships. The sponsorships should become an instrument for you. That's the actual point. It's the real reason why I'm trying to say. If you're trying to get famous or you're trying to get known for anything that you do, it shouldn't be just about who you are. It should be about how everyone views you and understands you as either they hate you or they love to hate you, or they hate your artwork and they love your artwork, or anything like that, or they love anything about you. Okay? You have to understand that everything is a brand. Every single thing we do is a brand. This is branded. This is a 90s cartoon. It's Freakazoid. And I don't understand why people don't realize that actually like happened, and like the reason why this whole kind of like world we're seeing now evolves and changes is because of everything that happened in the 90s, everything that happened in the 80s, and every person who decided to rebel in the 70s. And they didn't have titles. They didn't need titles. They just fucked who they wanted. David Bowie didn't consider himself bisexual because he had sex with a bi person, or he had sex with a dude once. It doesn't make you anything. It just means you're attracted to a certain person. You're attracted to a certain kind of person. Like, he didn't dress up in the things he wore because he was a certain sexuality. He said you can dress in whatever you want to. Like, freedom of expression is the name of the actual game. You know? Like, no matter who you are inside, that's you. That's the person you share with, the person you want to share the world with, or the people you want to share the world with. The point is that this is disingenuous to think that every single gay person is going to fuck every single gay person. That's just viewing them as sluts. Like, viewing them as sluts and understanding that every single person who is of a sexuality will always try to find a partner or something like that. That's the disingenuous part, is like, as like you're actively viewing yourself in a political form just to be able to fuck anyone you want. Like, it's stupid. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you try to level the playing field, or even get rid of the chase, or even understand like that actually happens in like homosexual and non-homosexual and any sort of like trans relationships. Like, there's always a dynamic, and that dynamic changes over time, and that's the fun part. Like, you're not gonna find a club that's like, we're gay for a living. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, you're not gonna find anybody that does that and then makes money because they're gay. You might find that a person in the 80s did things because they were gay, and also did things with the mafia because no one else would hire them. Right? I'm not judging people for like being with someone or understanding something, but just, that's the point, is like, you love who you trust. You understand and want to fuck who you should trust. And if that's not your actual want or desire, then something's wrong with you, and you really need to address it. You view love as some sort of like you never had somebody show you that they love you. You always had this baby, I'm gonna take care of you. You're a princess. You're my princess, baby, 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 baby. And it's like stuck in your head, because as long as you hear it, you're comfortable. But understanding you shouldn't be comfortable with that person, because they're trying to control you with words. You should understand and realize that doing things for each other makes you love each other. Having experiences together and making memories, that's what makes you love and understand each other, and realize that you're friends, or realize that you're lovers, or realize that you're anything. I just don't get this whole idea that people should like loudly speak their own sexuality. It's dumb. It's really dumb. And people are going to understand this later on in life, when they realize how much they damn themselves. When they realize that they can't get into certain circles because they constantly say how loudly what they are, how they are, no matter given anyone else's sexual identity ever. You're creating not only an echo chamber for yourself, but you're creating this loudspeaker in your head that constantly, if someone doesn't believe in the same thing as you, then you have to get on their nerves, or you have to make them feel like they're doing something wrong with their life. And maybe they are, but that's their point. That's their choice. That's their freedom. They can do stupid shit. They can say stupid shit and validate it with invalid information. That's their right. They can do it. It's called religion. It doesn't even exist, and people think it still exists. I know it's stupid. I know all of it is just imaginary friends and people wanting to feel safe inside their own homes, or safe inside their own lives. it's self-expression in itself, but it's just using something as a tool to be able to understand. It's like making up a little character and putting him in the garden, and then understanding and talking to that character, realizing that that's you, that's understandably you. You are the God in this whole situation. You are the imaginary friend, but that's what it is. It's just self-expression in a different way. Even with Muslim culture, they base their lives and their culture off somebody that came before them, like a life and a prophet and a person that they believe in. That's the point. Is you can't change someone else's want to see or view a prophet, or see or view a change in society, or belief in change in society, and that society is in itself an idea that in itself lives within every individual that experiences society. So if you lie, then that society becomes a lie to be able to make you feel comfortable, because you believe that lies themselves are what make you feel comfortable, because that's what you do to be able to help people, to be able to hurt people, or to be able to do anything you want. Con artists, anyone like that. Everyone wants to hear a lie. Everyone wants to believe that there's some sort of lie out there that they can't fucking get past. And the point is they're not getting past it in their own mind. Everyone has a mental disorder, no matter what they even understand. Everyone, every single person that's on this entire world has some sort of misconception that they've believed about for the entirety of their life. No matter how much the world even tried to get to them, no matter how much the truth ever tried to come out. So in that misconception, or in that reality of the fact that there are people that just keep their mouths shut and just don't care, because they can walk home easier, or they can walk home and be safer. Or they can share something with someone that actually cares about them. I'm not saying that I'm that person, because sometimes I'm not. But that's the point, is every individual has the right to be that as well. You can be whoever you want to be. You don't have to constantly be attracted to one person. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself. You don't have to be embarrassed about your sexuality, or be embarrassed about emulating something you admire and would actually have sexual feelings towards if you weren't so wound up in yourself. I'm not saying like, oh my god, all these lesbians need to fuck dudes. No, I don't give a shit about that. I just need you to understand and be honest with yourself. If you really just want to fuck women, then just say that to yourself. Don't give it to anybody else. It's not theirs to understand. It's not anyone else's to understand. It's not your friend's idea, okay? It's your idea. The point is that a lot of times when people even are like sexually closeted in any way, they start to project all those different things on everyone else in society. And that's what happens, is that echo chamber creates a stereotype. And when that echo chamber creates a stereotype, all that is just people saying stupid shit. And it triggers every single person to just do dumb shit all the time and constantly hate each other, or constantly reprimand each other on saying words. Like, it started with all this inward stuff, and the point is, it was the last generation's. It wasn't even our generation. It was the last generation's word for making sure that they could make people unique, and it was called Negro. Okay, and it was different, and that's the reason why people wanted to be different than them. People wanted to say that they wanted to be different, or like. But that's the point, is like, when that changed, they didn't like it, or people didn't like it. They didn't want to be different. That's the point, is like, they wanted to be accepted. But that's the point, that you can't be different and also accepted at the same time. You're different, therefore you're not accepted in some ways. So understand that the reason why that even exists at all is because of the Spanish word negra, or meaning black. So people were calling them black the entire time, and they just wanted to be called the word black. Understandably so. If you're associated with the color, people aren't going to understand when you ask for cigarettes and different things, and then you say the word black, and oh my god, you're a white person? Are you serious? That's the point, is like, the more you patronize and use words to be able to define yourself and your culture, or understand that there's pain in your ancestry, and you don't accept that, you don't accept that there's pain in everyone's ancestry, you don't accept that everyone went through slavery in some form or conduct. And that's generations and generations back of people literally murdering each other because they didn't like each other's stuff they did that day. That's it. That's what it turns into eventually. That's where wars come from, and crazy shit. You have to understand that. But if it doesn't get that bad, then blah. No, that's the point. Is someone will bring it there. If there's anything that you have to understand, is that history is better than experience. Understanding that, yes, cis, a bunch of different people, different genders, different sexualities are littered throughout all of history. And not all of them really had to tell people that they were actually that thing. And the point is that Freddie Mercury came out, he didn't come out though. And he was forced out by other people, by people saying that you should be proud that you're blah, blah, blah. I just don't give a shit. Like, it's mine. I like that. Nobody else should like that. Nobody else likes what I like. Nobody else likes exactly what I like. And that's and the point of, like, society in itself is, like, people aren't society. Like, people, a group of people who make a rule or an order is society. And the realization is everybody wants to be respected in what they think is normal society, and it's not normal. Nothing is normal. Society isn't real, really. It's just an idea that people project all the time. I know it seems like differing opinions, but the reason why I think that people should understand that it's just an idea, and they don't have to be accepted by an idea, because an idea can never accept you. You have to accept the idea and understand that that idea is used for things. It's used for people to understand certain different versions of different people's stories. And the only thing you should really be offended about is if somebody decides that they're going to murder people again. Like, pretty much everyone should be worried about, but never is, because they're always stuck in their own goddamn individualistic problems. And use them as a way to be able to get to know people who they don't even respect and don't even know. They don't even understand that, like, you'll understand when you're 40 years old that you don't really want to, like, tell people exactly what your sexuality is unless they're comfortable actually doing the same things that you're doing. So, you'll realize when you're 40, like, all these all these, like, Gen X, or not Gen X, Gen, whatever the fuck they are, I don't care, they came later, they were born in the early 2000s, late 2000s, all that other shit. They're still children. And the point is, like, oh man, I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I like being able to express myself to someone who respects me and understands me. And sometimes I don't think my friends get that, because I'm not my friends. I don't care what they think sometimes. Like, that's the point. I'm not them, you know? And so that's the reason why I really, like, if I want to find somebody that tries to understand me, I'm kind of going to want that person as a romantic partner, you know? Like, if they actually try to get to know me and stuff like that, then I'm not going to be in the friend zone for long. You know? Like, and people are like, oh, this friend zone bullshit is, like, so terrible. Everyone's just, like, talking about, if you don't like being in the friend zone, then you weren't a friend to begin with. It's like, no. It's both people's faults. It's the girl's fault not the girl's fault. It's the female person's fault for understanding that person to ever want to have just a friendship. And that's the point, is, like, women use those dudes for validation when they think they don't want sex, or they think they don't want anything. And the point is in that point right there is your 40-year-old self way down the line thinking that you're attracted to a dude because he exudes that actual nature. The dude who you're literally not even attracted to, the dude who just gave you little support because you asked for it, that's what you want. Literally when you're older and way down the line. So why not just be attracted to that dude to begin with? It's that both parties are lying to themselves, you know? It's that both parties are absolutely lying to themselves constantly. Everyone who's protesting, they should come up with some sort of itinerary about what they were going to change, what laws they wanted to enact, what things they were going to do. But it never even got that far because no one even wanted that to happen. There were white people controlling a whole bunch of shit about Black Lives Matter and a whole bunch of stuff, and that's the reason why charities don't happen. Because the people that are involved in the first dealings didn't want anything to happen. They didn't want to change anything. They wanted the entire society to fall. And that's the point. It's like, no, you don't. If you want that idea to fall about freedom or the respect of freedom or the respect of people that came before you. It's like, then that's not American, and that's not worldly. It's not understandably an international culture. Like, you're not being an international culture. You're just being fucking like embarrassed and offended all the time. And it's just going to bring you towards burning down a fucking Wendy's, which why would it have anything to do with race or anything like that? Because, like, why? It's not regular. Obvious. The dude's daughter was an Irish little girl. He was Irish. It's not racist. Stop being stupid and think that things represent some sort of culture to you. It's a mental deficiency. It's an absolute mental deficiency to think that any sort of symbol makes you feel worse or better about yourself or better about anybody else. That was the people didn't put that fucking Robert E. Lee statue up there. It was some rich asshole that wanted to offend everyone. Don't give him the satisfaction, goddammit. Don't give any billionaire a satisfaction of ever thinking that they have control over you or control over your emotions. Including Elon Musk. He's a piece of shit sometimes. He dated a fucking... He's 50. He's fucking 50, goddammit. I don't give a shit what age he is. He's goddamn old. He's dating a 22-year-old, goddammit. And they had a baby. If anything is grooming, that was grooming. And what was she? Was she from, like, the Czech Republic? She was used to old dudes hitting on her all the goddamn time? It's bullshit. He's exactly like fucking, what is it? Was it Vladimir Putin? Except he doesn't have as many murders as he has. Because yes, literally, fucking Vladimir Putin. This is the reason why I hate dudes that fucking do politics stupidly. They get politics and think they can do anything they want. So they date someone who doesn't fucking know what they did. And that happens to be a younger bitch. So that younger bitch is like, wow, this dude is an older guy, and he's taking care of me. And that's all she sees, and not the fucked up shit he did 30 years ago when she wasn't even born. That's the shit I get pissed off about. Like, the chick who fucking dated Elon Musk doesn't know that he used to run the fucking club scene every single goddamn day. Or he told her, and he's actually being honest, which is a little better of a quality, but not by much. People are shitty. People are absolutely shitty. And the thing we're fucking worried about is being sexually accepted by society that we don't fucking care about, and nor care it about us. It's an idea. It can't care. There you go. Epiphany. Being progressive isn't about having every single person accepted. Because there are certain people that are into the occult and bullshit no matter what goddamn gender or sexuality they come out as. They're still murdering kittens in their goddamn basement with no one else watching. And the more you're able to see the psychology of an actual, like, level playing field of sexuality, understanding that you could literally have sex with anyone. If you got drunk enough, you'd have sex with that older bitch. That's probably your friend's mom, but you wouldn't if you were like, oh, I've secured myself. You're securing yourself, then you wouldn't have even done that. I'm talking to myself on that one. And she would have just kept on having a crush on you. That would have been it. That's all. That's all would have happened. And she would have realized it was more admiration than to begin with. She just sees how young you are, sees how confident you are, sees how understandably unashamed you are of everything. And that's the reality of the fact, is that most older women find people that are responsibly mature and attracted to anyone. And don't make themselves into something that they shouldn't be. Or they should just they want to look bad to make you, like, feel like, ooh, I'm going to kick you in the balls and you're going to fucking, I was crying out for help and shit. It's just like, no. I mean, and if we do that, we're going to have a safe word. So understand what people actually go to with BDSM. What lengths they go to make sure their partner isn't in as much distress as a whole bunch of different things happen. Like, It's fucking crazy, dude. So many fucking things happen to people's sexualities when they get older. You'll realize how fucking young you are now and understand where your actual culture understands things. Is there literally people who were like, these are the reasons why slavery even happened, okay, in Africa. It's because there were certain tribes that were warring with each other. The reason why they were warring with each other, and if you read in some texts in African history, you will find this, is that there were tribes and certain people that were based upon cannibalism and human sacrifice all the time. This happened everywhere. It's happened a whole bunch of places, including Africa, including South America, including a bunch of different places that still exist to this day sometimes, or castles that exist to this day. They believe that somehow it was originally cited. The earliest instance was Vlad the Impaler. It was Vladimir. I don't know his last name, but it was Vlad the Impaler. Okay. Vlad, okay, not coming from Russia, not just coming from Russia, but the eastern, like a southeastern bank of Europe and stuff like that. He was almost just as bad as Genghis Khan, except he didn't fuck anybody. He drank their blood. The earliest sighting of that, and the reason why that actually happens, is because people don't know exactly how much actual people we ingest sometimes. And then there are some people who get into it so much, or actually have that so much, they consider it a regularity. And that dude literally drank people's blood to get their strength, and he died eventually of like a bunch of different diseases because he's an idiot. And also, you know what else he did? He put people up on poles and electrified them, thinking that it would bring them back to life. All it did was burn them a lot. But they were already dead, so it didn't even matter. So just... he thought that the life itself in them was coming back to life, or somehow he was going to speak to them, or be able to learn their things, and then fucking like this cartoon series, whatever the fuck this cartoon series is, fucking, I hated it so much. I hated it absolutely so much. They made this dude seem like he was like his science was just all too far into the future, and nobody understood him, and that's the reason why, because that was all fabrication. Vlad the Impaler was not a good person. Okay, he did not do good things. He did not make science work. Yeah, but the research that he did, he never wrote anything down. He was absolutely insane. It was just all the people. It was all the people around him that were constantly fucking telling him, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" Or the dudes from other countries that would come over and visit him and meet with him and then write it down. He didn't. Insane people don't take records. Or people who are not trying to incriminate themselves don't take records. That's what you should understand, is like these people all existed, and they weren't good people. Like they're not a Night at the Museum version of Genghis Khan. Like he speaks like a fucking child. That's not even Mongolian. If anything, you should be offended about the shit that happens on movies that we accept and laugh at all the time, instead of being. People were fucked up back in those days. People were fucked up, and they're still fucked up today. Like I'm saying, it's like people don't even realize, like, having pride is Pride Month and Pride. It's just like, no, pride isn't exactly about, like being black, because you can't hide the fact that you're black. You can't just say, "Oh, I got a big tan, guys. Oh, I'm brown." You can't say that. You can't fucking hide it. You can't hide it. You can hide the fact of being gay for long enough to where you can get away from the fuckers who are trying to eat you because you're gay and they think they'll get your gay powers. And there are plenty of people that still think like that, but they're harder and harder to get to once they're smaller and smaller groups. Because, somehow they're protected under a certain law in a certain country. It's like, yeah, they still eat people, though. They still eat people. Why the fuck would you protect them? Burn it goddamn down. Don't burn the fucking Amazon down. I mean, shit. Oh, yeah, it's like, it's totally their fault for getting into the tribes people's land. And that's the reason why they ate them. Like, fuck you. Fuck your reasoning. You stupid piece of shit. It's like some of those people were actually transgender cannibals, and that's the reason. What the? Oh my! It's like that's when it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It's just like the point is that it making you you being a certain sexuality does not make you a good person. Nothing makes you a good person. Nothing except the proof of you being a good person and understanding trauma and realizing mental processes happen all the time, and people themselves don't validate the shit out of whatever they want to. And that was an awesome move. I'm going to a different map now. I am so done with this shit, dude. I'm so done with people acting like they're still not hiding from the dumbass motherfuckers who literally took down 2 towers thinking that would literally defeat the entire country. But it didn't, it wouldn't, and it won't. It was a huge insurance scam that some crazy dude believed and everybody else did and tried to act like was happening. The point is that no matter what you believe, no matter how you believe it, you still have to come to those terms and understand that society itself isn't going to accept you. You have to accept yourself first. You have to understand that you deserve respect no matter what relationship you're in. No matter if you choke each other at night or not. Realize that that's not what an entire respectful relationship is about. It's about permission. It's about acceptance. And you would come way harder if you had a little paper that you said, hey, you know what? I'm giving you the right to beat the shit out of me if you want to, because you're a fucking sexy bitch, and I love you. And I also do your laundry, or you do the dishes and I fucking cook or some shit. Like, understanding and sharing that with each other and realizing that permission itself is what makes it fucking hot. I'm never gonna get through it anyway. I don't know. Because nobody's listening. Nobody fucking cares, and just never gonna understand. Because nobody gives a shit. Everyone just wants to be validated by some person who doesn't give a shit about them in the first place. It's just like, wow, you're also gay? Oh my god, you're also bi? Oh my god, you're also straight? Holy shit, are you serious? It's like those dudes who fucking like are in like the country and they constantly call me brother and shit like that. Unless they're my actual brother posing as someone else on the internet, which has happened before. But I don't give that compliment out neatly, or I'll say that immediately when someone meets me. Because it's a form of trying to break through the barriers that is the person's actual comfort zone. It's the reason why people actually say that shit. It's to go past those barriers and make you think about something that they just came up in their head that fucking day. It's annoying. It's stupid. And it means nothing. It means nothing unless actual foundational bonding has ever happened between the two of them. And it pisses me off when people actually say that shit sometimes. They think that, oh, you brother, you're my brother, brother. It's like, no, you're not my sister, you're not my brother. You're an individual. You're your own person. You believe in the confidence that makes you the best person. And don't believe in all the bullshit or the hype or the assholes that steal money from a charity and then expect that charity to fall apart immediately. Because Nicola's still doing good. They had a whole scam. That motherfucker left and everything. And there's still a bunch of different shit happening. So don't believe in the bullshit. Don't believe in the hype. Black Lives Matter can still make it and still do something. They shouldn't use George Floyd as an excuse. They should beat the shit out of the next cop. Or gang up on the fucking cop. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I was like, oh my god, you get that with the phone. Throw the phone at his fucking head. If it's a brick, even better. Don't allow someone's death become the fucking voice of your life. Because you'll never live that down, even in the worst of times. Or even in the best of times. You'll still be reminded that that person even died in the first place. And that's not something that everyone needs to burden. The point is that that person's death isn't on your shoulders, and that's what sucks. That's the real reason why it sucks. It's because it's nobody's death but his. I don't get why people are just constantly so obsessed with death and be like, oh, death is a natural part of life. Not if I find the fucking key to immortality, you bitch. Watch me find it. and understand, like, how many crazy people did fucking scientific miracles and found things that were amazing because they were absolutely insane. Like, that's the point about even understanding things, is that person was so confident in their own belief in something. They actually found and discovered something that would help everyone. And on accident sometimes, just because of the shit that they were into. It's not about being accepted by society. Even from the dude who literally made the internet and was gay and got freaking chemically castrated. Understand that in some way that was his choice, because he stayed in the place where everyone hated gays for no reason. Because that's what England was back in those days. Everyone's trying to act like they're so fucking socially conscious and shit like that. But the reason why we're acting so socially conscious is because we weren't literally 40 years ago. Not even 40 years ago. Like 10 years ago. And we're trying to put on airs for all our goddamn children. It's like, yeah, we used to say cunt and bullshit all the fucking time on goddamn live TV sometimes. They used to make, like, the most classist jokes in the entire world back in the 70s. That's the reason why those dudes were such rebels that were making music, because they didn't give a shit about anybody else's bullshit. They were making their own stuff for everyone to be entertained by. So nobody had to listen to Dean Martin or motherfuckers on, like, the goddamn, or Carson, what's his name? Fucking Johnny Carson or some shit. It's like, oh, making jokes about shit. Because it was fucked up and stupid. They weren't making the jokes about the actual dark shit. And then dark humor came in, and everybody was, like, understanding that these things were happening. And for a real person with actual boundaries, it actually makes up this mindset to where, like, wow, fucked up things happen, and people have to make reasons for them to feel better about it, you know? People have to make reasons and fucked up jokes to make people feel better about something that happened that was bad. To realize and understand that what dark humor and what every person has to be able to bring back what they think is, oh, I just wall. No, I didn't. I thought I was going to wall ride and it didn't happen. That's what I believe. I believe that dark humor will save the world. And also sriracha mayo. Sriracha mayo. Good sriracha mayo will change the world. Because Asian food is amazing. I could never hate an Asian in my entire life. Except Xi Jinping, because he's a piece of shit and he tries to enslave his own people and also Muslims. And then say that they're not Chinese. It's like, fuck you, you racist piece of shit. And that's the point, is like, it's like China's like the megalodon of the fucking deep, man. Like, everyone's basing their culture off some sort of fucking hate that happens. And that's what happens, man. That's exactly what happens. And then the next generation is going to be like all about fucking like social appropriation and fucking like, and like not offending people and shit or something like that, and everybody's just gonna be like, where did that come from? It came from being fucking held hostage by a goddamn leader and being held hostage for a very, very long time, and Russia backing out and understanding that, yeah, China's fucked up. There's a bunch of different people that are fucked up, and they are talking always to North Korea, always, for no reason, because they just think that they're gonna make it. And it's just like, you can't do that without the rest of the world. Like, you cannot make an energy company and then stop funding it and then say, you fund it or we're gonna fucking ruin your policies. I was like, wow, that's a good way to do business when you're in the mafia. Awesome. And then people are gonna get their legs broken. Awesome. It's great. And also there's one thing that's called fentanyl, and it comes from China. Fentanyl, guys. I understand the exact effects of fentanyl. There is not even a fucking pinch of that shit can murder you. Not even a pinch of that shit can literally make you OD. And I was like, oh, it's so cheap. And it's like, yeah, it's cheap because it's not a drug meant for people to actually be addicted to. It's a substance to kill people that they actually experimented on, that they've been experimenting on and making experiments for other shit. So it's actually plausible for a bunch of other shit to be happening that no one says they have evidence for. Fucking stupid motherfuckers. It's 1,000 times. It's 1,000 times. It's 100,000 times more potent than crack. And it's not a drug. It's literally a murder powder. It's anthrax, like brought down half. It's like half anthrax. Like, remember that shit, man. That shit comes from China. It comes from every fucking place that Chinese people actually make products. Every place. But the production of drugs and a bunch of different things were constantly and oddly monitored all the fucking time, and that's why they're so cryptic with everything. It's like, why would you destroy every single sample of the virus itself if you weren't doing something else fucked up in that goddamn lab? Why? Why would you kill every single sample, or burn every sample, or destroy every sample? Why? Why would you do it? We just, we don't have to. We don't have to because we're not a country. We're a prison system. That's it. That's all. And also, America has a lot of shit to answer for as well, because we're not gonna just talk about a bunch of different shit. We're gonna talk about all of it. America has so much shit they need to answer for. Understanding that certain people were just put in prison just so they would actually be able to just fucking destroy people's culture and shit. Understanding that culture itself, and it is kind of a landmine, but destroying that culture and then saying they did it themselves is even more of a landmine. That's like a landmine that's like pointing at you in the face, and you're just like, I don't see mine at all. It's like, I don't see that bouncing Betty happening whatsoever. I'm gonna walk wherever the fuck I feel like. And then that landmine hits you, you're just like, oh, that was there, oh my god. And you're like surprised somehow. It's fucking stupid, man. And also fentanyl. And understand that there were some instances where America actually did completely and utterly fund bioweapons things. And there probably is a zombie virus out there. Like, and they're probably getting it from zombie ants or zombie wasps that use their young to be able to eat the inside of a goddamn caterpillar, and they'll put it in the frontal lobe of any motherfucker, because they'll teach whatever bug that they're doing to do that, and then that's what will happen. They'll start eating people, and then they'll die, and then they'll start eating people, and then they'll die. And the only way to actually fix it is to make them literally sit in a goddamn thing, and they'll have no other frontal lobe left, and they'll be a vegetable, and that'll be the end of the virus. But that's the point, is our teeth aren't hollow. They need to make that virus actually do that. Actually do what raccoons or what freaking possums and shit have. They'll need to make our teeth hollow. So if they make our teeth hollow, that's what they're doing. They're putting toothpaste on fucking every single shelf and saying, you need to put this in your mouth, even though it's harmful chemicals that shouldn't be in anyone's mouth for more than 20 seconds. So like, you see those bubbles and those activation? That means it's working. No, that means you're putting Dawn fucking soap in your goddamn mouth. I'm telling you, like, there's no reason for people to actually be brushing your teeth every single day. There's no reason. There's no absolute reason. She's like, oh, but there's food on your teeth. It's like, yeah, that happened for millions of years, and we didn't have to have a problem. Yeah. Like tooth decay happens. It's okay. It's fine. But it doesn't happen. It happens faster if you put tooth medication in your mouth. It happens way faster. Those are acids and pHs. Okay, there are a bunch of acids in toothpaste. Acidic, blah 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 blah. It's acid. Okay, it's all acid, and it's gonna hurt you. Why do you put it in your mouth? Oh, because I want clean teeth, and I want my breath to smell like the ocean. Like, I'm gonna give you a fucking clue, and the ocean smells like piss. It's the reason there's salt in there. I'm telling you. Huge monsters a long time ago pissed for a very long time, and they realized, I'm drinking my own piss. That's what they're doing. That's what they're all doing. I understand that piss is healthy. It's sterile. But they're drinking their own piss. And I'm sure that most animals that wanted to evolve got angry about it. Society is a lie. I'm drinking my own piss. Fuck you, I'm eating me young. I understand the people who evolve are the people who are angry about society and angry about everything. I'm probably not going to evolve because it really doesn't matter to me. It doesn't mean I'm straight. It doesn't mean I'm gay. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that people need to start accepting the fact that no matter what, they're not going to change anything. No matter what, whoever's in office is not going to give you more rights. And a matter of fact, people are going to take them away probably very soon. Because if we don't have an actual another pandemic of something that actually even does murder us all, we're going to murder each other eventually because everyone's just going to believe what Bill Gates actually thinks, or what any one of those dumbass rich people motherfuckers who don't control society because everyone else does and they have more power than him. You can overthrow him and take his billions if you want. And sometimes you need governments to sponsor it. Dependent upon your motives. Dependent upon your motives. It's like if there's any weapons on those Starlink goddamn satellites, I'm gonna find out. If there's a biochemical weapon that's about to fall from a satellite and go into the goddamn ground, bet you best believe I'm gonna fucking find that bitch. I'm gonna blow it up. Yeah, I don't think so, but it would be a cool like movie, wouldn't it? Like somebody like the fucking billionaires in the world just put us in the viruses and then they put us in the virus. They didn't say anything about it and it pissed me off and I went crazy. My name's Axel Porn. Yeah. Nobody believes me, but I know I'm right. I understand too is just like the reason why people don't understand like the action adventure films that they actually even watch or even love to watch the characters actually develop is literally the thing that they hate in real actual society. Is someone who literally hates everything and knows it. Like hates all of it, and somehow everyone wants to watch the shit out of them. That's the fucked up part about me. It's just like I just love men to take care of me and blah blah blah. But then in actuality, you're watching a movie about a dude taking care of a chick, but in actuality you're like, I want to be fucking independent and I not want to make my own money and all that other bullshit and everything like that. Yeah, you dipped. It's just like, no, we have fantasies about so many other things besides sex and so many other different things. It's like the dreams we have are sometimes even fantasies of things we think or wonder or want to happen to us or other people. Just so you can more easily communicate with them and make them understand that no, it's not all about them. Like, it's not all about what they want and how they want it. The world is fucked up and messed up, and you should understand that very, very quickly, or else you will fall victim to someone else's bullshit, and then that person will control the shit out of your life. It's the absolute point that people don't understand and don't realize is that as long as you are constantly broadcasting yourself on a motherfucking big ass TV saying you are the fucking version of every woman, 80s just pissed me off. That's all it did. There was tons of coke. Everybody was doing it. Even if they weren't doing it, they were still getting powder blown in their face. From going to the bathroom and just literally like anything they touched, it's like, why is my face numb? Oh my god. Everything that happened in the 80s was just all about coke. I feel numbness in my leg. It's like, maybe the coke went down to your leg. Oh my god. I feel a numbness. What is a numbness? What do you feel? What do you feel? Nothing, it's a numbness. It's like, oh really? Did you do coke? No? Oh well then, it's diabetes. I'm not gonna lie, I've done coke before. I've done coke. It's not a great drug. It just allows you to be more excited about things that you've already established as fact. It's It's literally it. That's all it is. It's just like, wow, I really want to do a fucking ballet. I want to create an entire story. And then you wind up doing absolutely nothing, because after you have that thought, the entire spike happens and the stock price of your goddamn mentality falls down. It's just like, I don't feel like doing anything, man. Until you fall asleep or some shit, or you do more coke, and then you're just like on this like binge of like, oh god, it's so bad. It's so fucking bad. I never do coke anymore, ever. Like, I never do coke anymore. It's so dumb. Like, it's so stupid. The reason why it's stupid is because it gives you this momentary want of everything, every possibility, every single thing like that. You feel oneness with the universe sometimes if you smoke a primo or do something really crazy. I've never smoked a primo before, but what you have to understand is that being by yourself or being isolated isn't really that bad. Okay? Being by yourself in a situation, you can always be the boss of yourself. You can realize that you can own your own business. And you're never going to have that many friends. But understand is you don't have to make that your world. You have to make that the thing that gives you confidence. You have to make social fucking anxiety your entire fucking existence. The point is you don't feel good about yourself sometimes, as you feel as though you're not using every moment to make yourself feel better and make yourself do better. But understand is like, you don't need that. You don't need any of that stuff. Once you get to therapy, you'll realize that all you needed was boredom. All you needed was a thought. All you needed was a logical thought that brought you to the thing that you should be at. You know? All you need is boredom. It's just a little bit of boredom, and you'll be able to think and put your thoughts into order and realize that you don't need to constantly be entertained. It is your privilege to be entertained. It is the privilege of the person that is entertaining you. It is their privilege. And you never have to have someone constantly breathing you out down your neck telling you to be a good person or telling you to not be actively. Why do you actively not be racist? It's like, you gotta give to charities because those people were raised in religion. Those people who say that you actively have to be not racist is you actively have to be a member of the church. That's literally the same concept. It's the same thing, just without the imaginary character. It's just them saying, you need to give me money because I am going to go blow up a Wendy's and I'm not going to tell you about it. It's annoying. It's stupid. It's like literally everything that evangelicalism is sometimes, because you'll even see people who are in major Christian things, and it's everywhere. It's every religion. Every single religion has some sort of thing they don't want to talk about. It's Muslims have bombers and suicide bombers. Yeah, it's two things. Suicide bombers. Toyotas decked out in Gatling guns. Let's see. Christians have A-15s or whatever, or something like that. The American Army and the American Navy have something called a railgun. So that's the reason why you should trust in your military. Realize that, yes, sometimes you're going to have to put your life on the line to be able to preserve and protect your freedoms. I'm not all about the military. I don't want to be in the military, but if I'm forced to go, if I have to go, I'm being fucking intel in that bitch. It's going to be fucking tight. That's what I want to do. It's what I wanted to do in the first place. I wanted to work with computers with my hands and be able to do something, be able to help somebody with some sort of information, be able to help them not die. From people who are fucked up and annoying and terrible people. People who sacrifice children. That's the point too. It's like, oh, they're poor. We should feed them. It's like, but half the population is murdering each other. Half the population is murdering each other. Why don't the other half just say, hey, let's cut and fucking run and go wherever we want to go? Because no, they can't afford a ticket because they make it too goddamn expensive. So go to a different country that has a bigger airport. But we can't do that. Why? Because all we can do is walk. Everybody used to walk. Everybody used to walk all the time. You can walk up to an airport and still take the plane. Doesn't matter what you can put a t-shirt on. You can buy a t-shirt from the fucking airport and then put it over your garbs or your tribal makeup and stuff. You can still do that. People will judge you, but you'll still make that airplane. You can go to a different country and then again be in their customs and understand that everything is different in a different country. And the reason why there's not that many, there's many metropolises in there is because there weren't that many people that wanted to eat each other. And now we need to understand and go back to the point was, yes, there are still people in America that are actively cannibalistic, and they are really, really doing shit now. So just realize that there are people that are fucked up, and they are probably behind your every single motivation. Everything's about suggestion, so realize that too. It's voodoo, all the other different shit like that, it's about suggestion. If you see a fight between two dudes that are like shooting each other, understand and realize that fight in itself is the ATF and the NSA doing fucked up shit to gangs to make them angry at each other. So they murder each other and they wind up just leaving and then dying, and then that's the point. They're not all black. Some of them are white. Some of them are Spanish. Some of them are fucked up Irish people. Some of them are people that wear rebel flags in their shirts. Some of them are not. But those people are stupid as well because they're not even wearing a symbol of their own country. So, England was heavily influencing Confederacy. That's the reason why their flag is like that. That's why they should understand and realize that it's not a symbol of the actual country. Should realize that it's just an entirety of an elitist community that used to and also funded every single person in the entire United States. And then when they fought each other, they still did the same thing instead of going to the ones that were actually right and justified and doing everything they needed to do. But you know, it's just a thing. So I can say my opinions all day, but it's not going to change anything because no one's listening. So I'll do this, okay? I will make sleep and go to bed. Because I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. If no one wants to realize there's like the safe path to actual progressiveness, they're going to realize that it's not anything that they believe it is. They're going to realize that it's not me, it's not them, it's not anything. It's about inclusiveness. It's about including people in your life. It's about including your parents, even though they're Republican. It's about including your grandparents, even though they're Republican. It's understanding that you don't have that many moments left with them. And even if they're disrespectful or hurtful, you will find that they are trying to teach you a lesson about being respectful and hurtful to people in their own goddamn fucked up mind. They're teaching you a lesson. They're teaching you an actual lesson. Is that no one has to be actually nice to you if they don't fucking feel like it. No one has to be nice to you. No one has to accept you except yourself. No one. You can be on your own and still enjoy a whole bunch of things that no one else likes and still be comforted in yourself. You don't have to have that boyfriend or that fucking goth girlfriend with big titties. Fuck yeah. It's like, no. I don't have to. I don't have to like anyone. I don't have to know anyone. It doesn't matter. I'm just a boy. Just a poor boy. I need no sympathy. But it's not easy come, easy go. Or little high, little low. And any way the wind blows can blow you completely off your high horse and into the mud. You are your own one-person bomb squad. You can defuse situations that you think are happening. But understand, no one has to accept you. And you can still be yourself. It may seem daunting. It may hurt. It may be embarrassing. It may be hell-bound. It may feel like hell. But understand, it's way worse than literally getting hunted down and murdered by a bunch of different people who are also related to you. So understand that your ancestors, no matter how bad you have it now, no matter how awesome or stupid everything is, your ancestors had it way worse, no matter what culture you were. It's because they didn't have a society. They didn't have a thing that was working while they weren't. That's the reason why it was bad. That's the whole reason why it was bad. So if you hate society because it's a lie, understand that you created the lie to understand what that society was thinking and telling you. You created that lie in yourself. and then you projected that lie everywhere you could. Understand that it doesn't matter if you like dudes or women, or any fucking body. It doesn't matter. People can still hurt you. People can still tell you about yourself. People can still mentally scar you. Even if you feel like you're telling them everything about yourself, they can still hurt you. Because there are shitty people like that. And they exist everywhere. Now, they're not every person. I'm just saying they exist in every society. In every single little town, every single little village, you think that the person is telling you something and wants to help you. The only reason why they're helping you is they believe that you'll give them something in order to be able to do something for trade. Because it's the only society they have. So they don't give a shit about race. They only give a shit about helping people that they can be helped. Understanding having pride in anything you are without understanding who you are within will give you nothing. It will help you nowhere at all in life. It won't. Not being comfortable with what's inside you is the biggest sin that anyone could ever commit. And having therapy and being bored sometimes and understanding your thoughts, understanding yourself, understanding you don't have a heart that has thoughts, your brain has all those thoughts, will one day lead us to eternal immortality. And then everybody's like, life has to be finite in order to... You understand the reason why we're finite in the first place? The reason why we're finite in the first place is because people decided to have sex with children. People decided to have sex with lesser life forms. People decided to have interspecies relationships. And that's where those horny, crazy bullshit comes from. Understand? Those people are chimera. They don't have a dick or a vagina because they don't have organs inside of them. They don't have the proper functioning organs. All those little hentai bitches with cat ears, they don't exist because they wouldn't be able to fuck you. But some of them wouldn't even be able to experience pleasure because that down there wouldn't work for them. It's where the concept of angels and demons and all this shit came from. It's all just a mental illness and we're waiting to wake up from it. And when we wake up, the world might have ended already. Be good to yourself, no matter who you are, no matter what you exist as. Just be yourself.